Kurt Cobain versus Axl Rose. In 1991, rock fractures into opposing camps. Guns N' Roses, riding Appetite for Destruction's 18 million sales, epitomizes glam metal's excess, while Nirvana, led by Kurt Cobain, ignites grunge with Nevermind, selling 30 million copies. Axl Rose, an early Nirvana admirer, wears their logo in the Don't Cry video, but Cobain rejects the gesture, viewing Rose's band as shallow. In 1992, Cobain tells Rolling Stone that Guns N' Roses lacks depth, slamming their sexist, macho posturing against Nirvana's raw, inclusive ethos. Rose, stung, retaliates on stage in Orlando, branding Cobain and Courtney Love junkies and cruelly suggesting their newborn daughter Frances might have defects. The feud erupts at the 1992 MTV Video Music Awards. Backstage, Love jokingly asks Rose to be Frances's godfather. Enraged, Rose threatens Cobain, "Shut your wife up, or I'll make you eat pavement." Cobain, with a smirk, tells Love, "Quiet, darling." Tensions nearly spark a brawl, with Duff McKagan and Rose's security targeting Krist Novoselic. Dave Grohl mocks Rose, yelling, "Hey, Axl," during Lithium. MTV News and Spin amplify the clash, framing it as grunge versus hair metal. Fans flood zines and early internet boards, debating the divide. Nirvana declines a lucrative tour with Guns N' Roses and Metallica, despite Rose's persistence. Cobain, in The Advocate, calls Rose racist, sexist, homophobic, declaring, "You can't support him and us." The feud fuels Nirvana's anti-mainstream stance, boosting In Utero's raw edge. Cobain's 1994 death ends the conflict without closure. Rose stays silent, but in 2016 he thanks Grohl for lending stage gear, hinting at détente. McKagan and Novoselic reconcile in 2008 via Seattle Weekly blogs. This clash transcends personal gripes, embodying the 90s shift from 80s metal to grunge, with Nirvana's ethos reshaping rock. No joint tribute emerges, and fans still argue over the feud on Reddit. Rose's later apology for his 90s behavior in a 2018 interview skips Cobain, leaving their rift a cultural flashpoint. Johnny Rotten versus Billie Joe Armstrong. In 1996, punk rides a new wave. Green Day's Dookie, with 20 million copies sold, dominates, while the Sex Pistols, punk's 70s trailblazers, launch their filthy lucre tour, derided as a sellout move. Johnny Rotten, aka John Lydon, scorns the new guard as derivative. In an MTV interview, he slams Green Day. "You settle for shallow copycats. Punk's about substance, not these third-rate acts." Billie Joe Armstrong at his peak counters in Spin. Rotten says we stole from him. Without the Pistols, Green Day might not be here, but our success fueled their comeback tour. Rotten keeps swinging, calling Green Day fat, rich kids who dilute punk by embracing the mainstream. In 2011, he sneers, "They think they're outwitting the system by joining it, but they're just cogs in it." Armstrong stays respectful, hailing Nevermind the Bollocks in 2022. "It was flawless from lyrics to riffs." The largely one-sided feud splits fans. Old-school punks rally behind Lydon, while 90s kids pack Green Day's arenas. Kerrang! And alternative press stoke the fire, comparing Dookie's sales to Bollock's 2 million. The Pistols tour, despite criticism, grosses millions, but their rebel cred wanes. Green Day, unbothered, headlines global festivals like Reading. Rotten's jabs persist, true to his provocateur persona, but Armstrong sidesteps retaliation, even covering Holidays in the Sun at a 2019 gig. The clash reflects a generational rift. 70s punk's gritty defiance versus its polished 90s revival. No face-to-face happens, and Rotten's barbs continue, with a 2023 podcast rant calling Green Day punk light. Armstrong's silence strengthens his brand, with Green Day's American Idiot selling 16 million copies, dwarfing the Pistols' output. Fan petitions for a joint show fizzle, and the feud remains unresolved, a staple of punk lore debated in dive bars and online forums. Jack White versus Dan Auerbach. In the early 2000s, the White Stripes, Jack White's raw duo, reshaped garage rock with white blood cells, selling 1 million copies. The Black Keys, led by Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney, rise in a parallel style, grating on White. In 2012, the feud flares when the Keys relocate to Nashville, where White runs Third Man Records. Auerbach, invited to a studio session, is blocked by White, who bans him from the premises. "It was odd getting turned away from a place I was set to work," Auerbach recalls. In 2013, leaked emails from White's divorce expose his resentment. "This guy's gonna shadow me for 12 years at our kids' school, mimicking my sound and invading my space." White views the Keys as imitators leeching off his stripped-down aesthetic. In 2015, Carney alleges White tried to confront him in a New York bar. "He was livid, but I don't fight." White dismisses it as fiction. Rolling Stone and Pitchfork hyped the rivalry, casting the bands as near-identical foes. Fans split, with Stripes loyalists touting White's originality and Keys fans citing their soulful spin. Auerbach stays composed. "I don't hold grudges. Divorce makes you say dumb things." In 2015, Carney claims a reconciliatory hour-long talk with White. "He's cool, we're good." The deleted tweet leaves doubt. Both bands flourish, with Elephant and Brothers each topping 2 million sales. No collaboration emerges, and tensions seem cooled, but no bond forms. The feud, driven by egos and stylistic overlap, highlights indie rock's obsession with authenticity. Their kids' school, where they still cross paths, is their only tie. White's 2014 Lazaretto tour avoids Keys-heavy cities, and Auerbach's 2019 solo album nods to 60s folk, distancing his sound. Fan blogs still compare their discographies, and a 2022 Nashville music panel sidesteps naming both, hinting at lingering sensitivity. Axl Rose versus Vince Neil. In 1989, glam metal reigns, with Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue atop the charts. A night at LA's Cat House Club ignites a firestorm. Izzy Stradlin, Guns guitarist, allegedly assaults Charisse, Vince Neil's pregnant partner, grabbing her violently and hitting her. Neil, incensed, plots retaliation. At the 1989 MTV Music Awards, where Motley Crue presents an award, Neil ambushes Stradlin backstage, landing a punch after their segment. Axl Rose, witnessing the attack, vows vengeance. "Neil's gonna pay, and I'm the one to make it happen. Fists, knives, whatever he wants." Neil responds in an interview, "Axl, pick the time and place. No backing down now." Rose escalates, proposing a public fight in Atlantic City. Metal Edge and Circus magazines splash the story, and fans flood radio call-ins, hyping a potential brawl. The showdown never happens, and the feud fades as grunge, led by Nirvana, overshadows glam metal by 1991. Rose shifts his ire to Kurt Cobain, sidelining Neil. In 2014, Neil scoffs at a Revolver piece naming Rose the greatest rock singer. LOL, really? Online forums like Blabbermouth revisit the Cat House clash, with fans debating Stradlin's actions. Motley Crue banks on 80s nostalgia, grossing $50 million on their 2014 tour, while Guns N' Roses, plagued by lineup changes, struggles to match their 80s peak. This feud, more spectacle than substance, mirrors hair metal's flair for publicity stunts that fueled fame. No further physical incidents occur, and their exchanges dwindle to occasional jabs. The Cat House Club closed in 1993, leaving no marker of the night. Neil's 1990 autobiography, Tattoos and Tequila, omits the incident, while Rose's rare 2018 interviews dodge the topic, suggesting both have moved on, though no apology or meeting is documented. Anthony Kiedis versus Mike Patton. In 1989, Faith No More's epic fuses funk, metal, and rap, but Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers calls it a copy of his vocal and stage flair. "My drummer wants to nab him, shave his head, and cut off a foot so he finds his own style," he quips. Mike Patton, Faith No More's frontman, laughs it off. "It was funny. Maybe he feels insecure or past his prime, who knows?" The spat seems to die, but in 1999 it reignites. Patton's side project, Mr. Bungle, readies California, but Warner Brothers, nudged by Kiedis, delays its release to avoid clashing with Californication, which sells 16 million copies. Kiedis also boots Mr. Bungle from festivals like Big Day Out. In response, Mr. Bungle stages an iconic Halloween show, dressed as the Chili Peppers, rewriting their hits to mock their drug struggles. Kiedis, enraged, snaps, "After that stunt, I'm through with them." He ramps up efforts, barring Mr. Bungle from major European and Australian tours. The blow is crushing. Mr. Bungle loses deals, scrambles for gigs, and folds in 2000. Bassist Trevor Dunn vents, "The Chili Peppers crushed us, spiking festivals and our album launch." Alt music outlets like CMJ slam Kiedis for bullying. Patton thrives with projects like Fantomas. And in 2010, he's diplomatic. If I saw Kiedis, we'd probably hit it off. Kiedis stays quiet. This feud, rooted in jealousy and sabotage, shows how rivalry can ruin a band. Mr. Bungle reforms in 2020, but no Chili Peppers collaboration surfaces. Fans on X still debate Kiedis' tactics, and a 2023 Spin retrospective calls the feud a low point for 90s rock. The Chili Peppers' 2000 tour avoided Mr. Bungle's home turf, hinting at lingering bad blood, though no new incidents are reported. Noel Gallagher versus Liam Gallagher. In 1994, Oasis conquers with Definitely Maybe, moving 8 million copies, but brothers Noel and Liam Gallagher are locked in conflict. Their first public clash erupts on a North American tour when Liam alters lyrics in LA to taunt Noel on stage. Noel, livid, hits him with a tambourine and bails on the tour. In 1995, during a studio session, Liam invites drunk pub patrons to derail Noel's work, leading Noel to whack him with a cricket bat, scrapping a costly recording. In 1996, in Barcelona, Liam insults Noel's wife and questions their child's paternity, sparking a fight where Noel headbutts him and cancels gigs. British tabloids like NME turn their saga into a cultural obsession, with fans betting on their next blow-up. In 2009, the split becomes permanent. Liam smashes Noel's guitar backstage in Paris, and Noel states, "I can't work with him another moment." Liam threatens a defamation lawsuit accusing Noel of trashing his reputation. Oasis disbands, devastating fans who launch online campaigns for a reunion. Noel forms High Flying Birds. Liam starts BDI, but their solo efforts, while solid, lack Oasis's magic, with BDI selling under 500,000 copies. The insults fly. Liam dubs Noel a snob on Twitter. Noel calls Liam a spoiled brat. In 2025, a reunion tour is announced, prompting speculation. Peace or new chaos? This rivalry, fueled by egos and sibling toxicity, defined Oasis as much as their anthems. No public truce is verified, and their legal teams stay vigilant. A 2023 Q magazine poll ranks their feud as rock's most iconic, and fans on X clamor for a drama-free comeback, though Oasis's 2010 documentary sidesteps their fights, focusing on music. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of rock's most infamous rivalries, hit like, subscribe, and let us know your favorite feud in the comments. See you next time.